can join in here. 1 second. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, 1 second here. Get this. So good. So good stuff. All right. So today we are going to be continuing our series here on magical triangles. So hopefully everybody enjoyed our discussion yesterday on Apple. Today we're going to profile a different stock. So before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening and what might be setting up going into tomorrow. And then we'll take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX stayed down about 6 points right here, but still a pretty strong monthly candle as we're tagging the upper Bollinger Band again here on the SPX on the monthly chart. Weekly chart, again, we got a pretty decent reversal here off of that doji, right? So that was a nice little doji reversal right here. We got fresh all-time highs here today, and what's going on? We got a red candle. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's like everybody's like, getting worried about it. Like, red candle, and we're at all-time highs, right? So, is what it is. Although you know it's something to be concerned about, right? Spinning tops can be can call a top, right? So that kind of worked its way down right here. So spinning top could work its way down. Spinning top here, right? Kind of worked its way down, right? And also the Corona crash was a spinning top as well. So it is something to look at. The real big important thing is that we have Fed day tomorrow, right? So Powell's going to be talking tomorrow. So we'll see what kind of printing we got going on, and go from there. So good stuff. Let's take a look at the price action here intraday today. So it wasn't beautiful, right? Like I said, we had a red candle here today on the daily chart, but we did gap up, right? So they went for the gap fill on the futures pretty early, and then they rallied it up. It was a little bit more trickier on the SPX. They filled the gap here a little bit later, right? And then tried to rally off of that after there, but then just it was kind of over at that point. They were just kind of grabbing on to try to get into yesterday's range. So that was kind of tough there on the intraday here on the SPX. But like I said, the futures, again, pretty straightforward stuff, right? We gapped over the highs, so you can kind of see here. I'll show you on the 5-minute chart. These are our levels that we provide to our members here each morning, right? So right here at the open, right, kind of right away, we tagged that RTH high, yesterday's highs. Then we bounced off of that, and there we go. We bounced off of that. Got a nice move, fresh all-time highs here today, and then we pulled back pretty fiercely right here, and then another nice move up, and then another strong move down right here after kind of a crazy megaphone breakdown, and then it tagged one of our levels right here, a bit of a tweezer bottom right there, right? So you got about the same low right there with the two little tweezers at the bottom, and then got a little bit of a reversal off it. It wasn't easy, right? This candle right here does not make things easy, right? And then gave a big push up right here, and just kind of chopping around here after hours. So we got a couple things here that kind of track going into tonight. We got this geometric line right here, and not a huge fan of this going into this evening because it's kind of like a trend line already. So we'll just kind of keep an eye. Let's see if there's one below this to see if we can triangulate it here. Let's see. There we go. And give us some good levels here to contend with going into tomorrow. Boop. Here. Yeah, so that'll be good. Nice triangulation right there. And then we'll take this right here. This trend line, since it was clearly an old one, all we'll do is intersect it with that point right there. So that's good. That gives us a little barracuda setup, right? Here's the head, here's the mouth, like rah, rah, rah. So we'll see how it goes going into tonight and where we go from there. So again, if we break out these levels and volume, maybe they'll try to push it up a little bit higher tonight. Otherwise, we may test a couple of these geometric lows. So we'll see how that goes going into tomorrow. So good stuff. All right. So today, guys, we're continuing our conversation on magical triangles. So yesterday we talked about Apple. Today we're going to talk about Facebook. So yesterday was another good triangle day with Facebook. And what I want to illustrate on Facebook is the bow and arrow support, right? The retest of the triangle. Facebook had a really, really nice follow through this morning. Some members in our group caught that. We pointed this out on the live stream this morning, and some were able to hold this for a really, really nice run up here to get to its target level. But just some good relative strength this morning. Why? What happened? Well, it had some triangle magic, right? So yesterday was a beautiful triangle on Facebook as well, right? So what I don't necessarily want to illustrate. Yesterday we talked about the breakout yesterday and on Apple, and really this was a very similar. I think this is off of the 15-minute chart, so it's a little bit off right here. This is very similar to it, right? So what do we get, right? This was the candle right here. Increase volume on this one, and that really got things going nicely here on Facebook yesterday, right? But look where it pulled back to, and this is a favorite level of mine, and this is the what I like to call bow and arrow support, right? It's the middle of the triangle. And so what you do is you just put, because it looks like a little, looks like a bow, and right, you just kind of put the arrow in between it right there, and then there you go, bow and arrow support. So we pulled back to it. A lot of times with triangles, we pull back, we retest the triangle, but I really just love using the middle of the triangle just as an area of interest. It tends to play out nicely, and so that just gave us a nice pull back to this level right here, and then we started to bounce off of that, and then pre-market we got a nice gap up, and that just kind of followed through from there. It was just beautiful today, and gave a really really nice move there. So really that's it, right? So that's one of the big things. This is just to kind of emphasize, kind of repeat what we talked about yesterday. One of the things we liked about Facebook yesterday was the same thing here, right? So it had relative strength at the open, and then it got really, really choppy, right? And when things are really, really choppy, we are very likely in a triangle type range, right? So if you can get a geometric line on here, that's nice, right? What we look for is a breakout of that level of some volume, try to work its way up. Now, sometimes they pull back and they test that triangle real quick and they go, but this is one that just had a really, really nice move off of that. It was gearing up too, and a lot of times it has to do with that relative strength at the open. Then we pulled back right to bow and arrow support, and we got some nice follow through into today. So good stuff there, and that is some triangle magic right there on Facebook and with bow and arrow support. So good stuff. Well, hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. All right. So we had a few requests here. So Dylan sent a few in via Twitter. So let me get these pulled up here. So we've got ICPT. So Intercept Pharmaceuticals. So okay, big pharma or biotech name. Holding on to the ADMA. It's down a little bit after hours. Kind of a red candle right here. Could be interesting. Again, these, biotechs are tough. I have always trouble trading them. But look at that. It looks like we got a magical triangle right here. Triple inside day. Didn't really break out, but once we broke down to that triangle here with some volume, you can see we got that follow through here to the downside. So pretty cool stuff on ICPT. Wow. Let's take a look at Wow. Everybody likes Wow. I think it gave a big move up, and people just fell in love with it. So anyway, big push up here is kind of keep an eye on it, see how it handles this geometric line, see if we can get above that with some volume right here. So here's I've got a little chart right here, guys, and we'll probably talk about it more this weekend. But average volume. Right, so this is a good. Obviously, you can look at the volume charts right here. But this is kind of a good. I set this to the five SMA in here, and it really does kind of give you a nice flow. I wish I could set EMAs in this one, but they only do simple moving averages. But it kind of gives you a nice look at at volume, right? So we are pulling back right here on declining volume. So that gives us some hope, right? So if we get some a nice volume breakout of there, that could get things going again on Wow. So that'd be cool. JD, let's take a look. So JD, again, was on my bearish radar a little bit going into today, just in general, but it ended up hanging in there and kind of pushing up pretty decently here. Got up. Not quite to the ADMA, but it might try to work its way up a little bit here. So let's just keep an eye on it and see how it goes going into tomorrow. CF. Kind of a bearish engulfing candle here today, right? So yesterday's close was at 50.88, and today's open was at 50.90, right? So yeah, so we have a bearish engulfing candle right here after an uptrend. So a little bit of caution off of this. If it breaks down below these lows, it might kind of work its way back down here to fill this open gap, right? And also check out that geometric line below too. So good stuff there. ANET, inside day, got a little bit tight here today, so it might be a pause day, possible doji sandwich. So let's see how that holds going into tomorrow. If we can break out above those levels, and maybe give a little bit of a measured move up here to the cloud. So good stuff there. Awesome. Well, good stuff. Thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it. And Shirley sent in a few in via email. Shirley, I hope you're doing great out there. Let's take a look at some big names today. So let's take a look at mRNA. So mRNA, I think this is like a projected move from prior, right? So it did break out today above the bump line, right? So this is a very interesting move right here. So a good volume day on mRNA today. Nice push up. Again, let's see if we can get some follow through and continue to work its way up and maybe get above this the upper geometric line on that. So good find there. Let's take a look at Starbucks. So Starbucks, again, interesting today. This hit our unusual call activity as well. It was a nice gap up today, so I think they're just trying to push it a little bit more. It gave a good push at the open, and then kind of after that was just kind of blah. But could be kind of a pause spinning top type day today, so see if it gets any action on that one. Intel. So this was really strong this morning, right? So the semiconductor sector was pretty strong, but we were looking at like AMD and NVIDIA, and they weren't really necessarily like that great. But Intel gave a really nice move this morning. Very, very clean move over a couple levels here. Nice 15-hour breakout. worked its way up nicely before kind of just chopping here for the rest of the day. So bit of an upper shadow right there, but a decent push on that for Intel, right? So real quick here on Intel, right? Oh goodness, it's already come back. Look at that crazy gap, couple all the way back again. So pretty amazing stuff. So let's keep an eye on this one, see if we break over this highs. QCOM, let's take a look. So QCOM kind of doing its thing. We talked about this triangle yesterday. We're like, maybe we can get out of there with some volume. It did. It got some volume today, but it left kind of a nasty upper shadow. I wish it would be a little bit of a stronger candle there today, but it shows they're trying, so that's a good thing. And KDP. So Keurig, Dr. Pepper, nice. So nice little spike on that one here today. Decent volume on it, getting over these levels. So let's see if it can hold and stay above that recent pivot and kind of hold up there. So good stuff. Appreciate it, Shirley. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Oh, what's going on? Oak Organics. I love it. Exactly. Perfect. That would be a brilliant one. Airbnb. So it'd be a brilliant name on that one. Airbnb, a little bit of a reversal spinning top from yesterday back to the ADMA. So just kind of see how it holds there. Maybe we can consolidate there and get going again. Walmart. Yeah, so interesting one on Walmart, right? We talked about this yesterday. Again, we wanted to see if it kind of pulled back here to the 618 in case it's working on kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4 type move. So just kind of keep an eye on it right there to see if that still kind of plays its way out. Again, a little bit tricky here, right? Beautiful week last week. Again, the volume wasn't quite there, but beautiful week just needs the follow through, right? So we're just trying to see if we can get a wave count on that one to get us out of that weekly cloud. So nice stuff there. Apple, again, we like this going into today. It certainly gave a nice gap up today. Just beautiful on that. So we weren't surprised to see the pullback. It did pull back a little bit, so it might consolidate here for a bit. We just got out of the bump line, so it's got some work to do. You got the 50-day above, you got the cloud, you got the macro trend line. So it's got some work to do, but maybe it'll try to sneak its way through that thin cloud right there and try to get out of it. So let's see how that goes. They've got like a special like unveiling like product day or something like that coming up in like a week or so. So Apple sometimes goes up into that, and then we'll see if they sell the news into it too. So that could be pretty interesting there as well. And then Square, hanging in there. So again, yesterday was some increased volume on that. We did gap above it, but just blah all day today, just blah from the open, right? So that really stinks on that one. So because it was really getting strong, a little bit of a bounce off the ADMA, so see how it goes. But Square is a tricky name. It's really a shame though, because this, I don't know why this name is so awful to trade, but it just is. But I mean, the company is kind of interesting. I mean, they really are in a lot of places, and payment processing. They just got their own bank and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it's like a cheap name. I mean, it's up to $240. I mean, this thing used to be like, Chrono Crash was like, $32 back last year. I mean, if you think about it, it's up $230 this year. So, I mean, it's really made a great move. It just trades so blah. Anyway, so pull back there to the 80 man, the 50-day moving average. So, tough one on that one. But good stuff. Thanks, Bullish Bear Trades. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Tesla, what's up with Tesla? So Tesla is in the trend box. Right, so we have a bump line. It's the bump line trend box. So we did break above it, right? We confirmed above it. So here's your high right here that we got to get above and stay above with some increased volume to potentially work its way up for the bump and run here to get to the macro downtrend line. So let's see how that goes here for Tesla. And then Save. Let's take a look at this. So Save, sometimes saving the day. Again, it really is amazing. This one too is down like $16, and then now it's $40. How about that Square? $30 to $260. Good grief. Anyway, Save. They didn't make it easy. I'll tell you that much. So, but Save here, pull back to the 80MA on this one. Let's see how it holds. Again, these airlines are a little bit wild too. So, let's see if we can bounce off of that level. If not, watch for a close below the 80MA, and then might test the 35 level. So we got that going on. James, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's look at AMWL. How about this one, American Well? So this one is a kind of an IPO-ish type name not too long ago, and really coming back to these lows again. So definitely one to keep an eye on right here, right? You're bounced off the 618 kind of ish, right? Recently, kind of pulled back down below after gapping below it. And here we are again, kind of the same low levels right here. Let's see how it does into earnings. They got to have some good earnings to get this thing going again. So let's see how that goes for AMWL. Or at least a good action off of earnings, right? So that's what I mean. So Ron, what's going on? Good to see you. NCLH. Let's take a look. So, Norwegian. Rough, right? So again, these names are kind of interesting here. Upper shadow, nasty close below the 80MA. Increased volume would have been a little bit scarier. So just kind of see if it holds on to these these levels right here, and we can kind of consolidate and get going again. So good stuff there. Mitchell, Square. We just looked at that one. Really tricky name, right? But hanging in there, hanging on the 80MA, and Boeing. So Boeing with a wild pullback here. Yesterday with the red candle, and today with the gap down and follow through, right? And this was all straight from the open today. It was just all off of this first candle. It was just like, bleh. and then just a little bit of downside action. Then you had the choppy sloppy, right, and then we broke down a little bit at the end of the day. So anyway, but very good follow through from yesterday. So good stuff there, Roy. What's going on? Let's take a look at Plug. Yeah, so Plug struggling a little bit here after hours. Apparently, they had a news release that the that their books were all wrong. So that all their financial statements over the last couple years are like all messed up. So restate investors got deadline lawsuit. Restate financial statements. Yeah, so they're having some issues right here. I don't know. They came out with a statement too saying, "Oh, it doesn't affect our cash position." Like, yeah, it does. So we'll see how it goes going in tomorrow. See if it gets any follow through again. Here's your kind of just kind of your news retrace right here. We got to the 382. So it basically is right off the 50% retrace. So see how that holds right there. If it stays below there, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some downgrades on it tomorrow because who's going to come out and defend that, right? Like who's going to be like, what analyst is going to be like, oh no, Plug is really has a really good future here, even though we have no idea what they've reported to us, right? So that could be interesting too. We might see some downgrades on that in the morning, so that could be interesting as well. So keep an eye on that one for sure. David, what's going on? Lizzie, let's take a look. Yeah, this thing was wild today. Where's Michael? Is he out there today? Look at that one. Big move on this one today. Huge move intraday. One of our members points like, what? Huge move on that one. And then looks like kind of triangulating here into tomorrow. So keep an eye on it. Big day today. Again, it's done a big move before. Kind of no volume out of nowhere. And then a big push. So see how that goes here on Lizzie. And then Mickey D's, the Big Mac. Yeah. So potential doji sandwich here today. So they specialize in doji sandwiches, right? So can I get 2 doji sandwiches and a large fry? So let's see how that goes here off of this candle. See if we can work our way up off of that. So good stuff there. Otherwise, watch for the reversal. Good stuff, Scott. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at Ebon. So let's see. So Ebon here. Rough pullback of yesterday's candle. That was kind of one of our worries yesterday. We were hoping for a doji sandwich. We got the doji reversal here today. If it continues to break down below this 236 retrace, right, we may pull back and hit the ADMA on this one. Let's go back up to here off the last lows, and yeah, right off the 382 here. Again, any breakdown below today's lows, we could see the ADMA. So a little bit of caution on that. We got earnings coming up on this one too, Thursday after the close. So a little bit of caution going into that as well. So good stuff. Suyag, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, Boeing with the follow through from yesterday. Could it pull back and hit the ADMA? Good question. Again, prior resistance, right, could become support too. If it pulls back, you got that 243-ish type area. So something to keep an eye on there too. And what else? And then Apple. Yep, Apple again, doji day today. Again, big move there. Again, we're going to just keep an eye on it and see if it shows some relative strength and maybe pushes itself up to the cloud tomorrow and how it handles it. And then AAL. So inside day today, right? So let's see how it handles the highs or the lows on that one. It could be very interesting, right? A breakdown with any sort of force, right? Could get itself into this gap right here. Otherwise, hopefully it holds and kind of chops and just kind of works its way up. So let's see how that goes there for you. So good stuff there. Good. Ellis, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at FNDG. So FNDG. Did I type that right? FNGD, right? Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So nice push there. Well, actually, this is a tricky one, right? So this is your FANG 3X inverse. I gotcha. So interesting stuff right here. Again, below the ADMA, so it's got some work to do, right? If it wants to get super duper blah, right? But if any strong volume breakout here, we had volume recently. Any breakout over this cloud might try to push up and test the 200-day, but might not stay up there too long. But good stuff on that one. So yeah, Plug. People forgot to plug their numbers correctly, right? Exactly. Michael, what's going on? Good to see you. FTCV. Let's take a look. There's a candle. I knew you'd find one of these today. Wow, FinTech Acquisition Corp. Big move today. Big SPAC name. I love it. So good stuff there. CCIV. Let's take a look. A bit of a doji today, so maybe doji sandwich action on that one going into tomorrow. GSK to the 50 days, so a little bit of a caution of that. MViz, let's take a look. MViz, a little bit of pullback here. ADMA possible on that one. RBLX. RBLX, Roblox. Yeah, so again, guys, a wild name on this one. I think this is the dip buy of the century right here to $65. So if you have your stash accounts, right, that was a good spot there for the kids. Anyway, interesting one on that one. And then mRNA. Oh, I know, it's awful. But yeah, right, bullish. So anyway, Let's see how it does. Yeah, you got your geometric lines on that, of course, too. Tracy, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at EXPI. So EXPI hanging in here, a bit of a spinning top here today off of the cloud, and down a little bit after hours right here. But let's see if we can kind of get some more green candles here above the 50-day and the 80-day. See if I can get going on that one there too. And then woof, let's take a look at woof and see how. So woof, there it is. So a pullback here today. Decent move here. A little bit of a move here since the IPO time, right? But you got that geometric line right there. So again, it's gonna be all about earnings at this point now. But interesting lower hammer right here. That was a pretty good one. They tried to do it right here, couldn't get above it. This one they did get above it, and they pushed it a little bit. So that was good. So just kind of see how it holds and see how we do going into through their earnings report. So good stuff there. Rich, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Tilray. Tilray, again, tricky name today. Guys, this thing trades like the VIX, right? It pops for a while and then it drops, right? So pops for a little bit and then drops. So tricky name right there, but we'll keep an eye on it and see if it can go. It was gapping up nicely this morning. We were talking about it in the bubble report, like, hey, this thing's gapping up. If we can get over these levels, we can get. Did it get over those levels? No, right? Just bearish going into today. So that's what we had going on there. But good stuff. And then Tracy got Calyx. Let's take a look. CALX. Let's take a look. Yeah. So continue to grind its way up right here, holding the ADMA. Again, really, really strong chart right here. Just bullish uptrends across the board. Get a couple bump lines here. Here. Right, and I mean, this is just at this point now just kind of doing its thing, right? So just see how it holds, from there. Again, looking pretty extreme, but might want to come back and test the ADMA, but overall generally been pretty bullish here. So good stuff. Good find on that one. Awesome. Well, good stuff, guys. What a day. So hopefully everybody's been enjoying our talk this week on Triangle Magic. We'll come up with another one tomorrow with a different style setup, but good stuff there. Yeah, Netflix looking okay. Let's say Netflix one more time here. And did I pull up? I did pull up Netflix there for you, didn't I? Yeah. So sorry, I missed Netflix there, Rich. Sorry, I was spacing out on the Tilray thing. Upper shadow off of the 50-day. So it's basically right off of a potential bear flag top right here. So a little bit of caution off of that one, right? If it pulls back below these lows, right, we might fill the gap right here and kind of get into the part inside day, and then we'll see how it handles that geometric line. Sorry, I missed that one a little bit earlier. And then Nvidia, so Nvidia looking kind of interesting too. It could be bullish, right? Got to the 50-day moving average, not above it. So it could be rising wedgish. Another thing that we've been tracking too is the retrace, right? You had your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down, right? We could still be seeing an A, B, C type pullback right here for a zigzag, and then boom, another. Yeah, good for the bears, right? So watch out for that too. But it is kind of grinding its way up here. So Nvidia is Nvidia, so we got that going on too. Anyway, good stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in here this evening. I hope everybody has a good one. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new here or not, please hit the like button. We always appreciate that. It goes a long way. Even if you're watching the recording, please hit the like button. We always appreciate that. And we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning for our Bubble Report members. We'll see you guys for the Bubble Report, and for our Discord members, we'll see you bright and early in the Discord streams. And for even if you're not in our group, we'll still see you here on YouTube and in Twitter for our Good Morning Market Prep video and some of our Good Morning Market Prep as well. And go VIX, Michael! I know exactly. Can it do it? Can the VIX I know exactly. So it's wow, 1979. I love it. Woo! We got like Smashing Pumpkins playing in the background. Anyway, so we got this going on here off of these levels. So let's see how that holds. Again, VIX, who knows? Maybe it'll keep working its way down, but sometimes it only hangs out here for a week or two before it starts going again. But good stuff there too. So really appreciate it. Yeah, Michael, thanks so much. So see you like and subscribe, right? Exactly. I appreciate it. And yeah, absolutely. And Kenny, exactly. Pray for the Bears. I love it. So good stuff, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys bright and early. Until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game.